What's up, all you samurai assassins out there? Fat Samurai Guy here with special guest Lady Fat Blood on today's episode of The Movie Dojo, where we discuss martial arts cinema and action films. Today we are reviewing Close Range. Here's a quick plot synopsis. A rogue soldier turned outlaw is thrust into a relentless fight with a corrupt sheriff, his obedient deputies, and a dangerous drug cartel in order to protect his sister and her young daughter. Now we're going to give you the good, we're going to give you the bad, and we're going to give you the badass. First up, the good.
Issac Florentine directed this.
And it stars Scott Adkins. And now for the bad. All right, damn it. Okay, so it seemed like it was a match made in heaven. It seemed like it was peanut butter meets chocolate, okay? When you got director Issac Florentine discovering and hiring Scott Adkins to be in his films, okay? It was just like gold, okay? You got Undisputed 2, you got the Undisputed 3, you got Ninja, you got Ninja 2 Shadow of a Tear. So we were all excited, okay, that they were going to pair up again, man. We knew we were getting a fourth Undisputed film called Boyka, which we cannot wait to see. But all of a sudden, this movie came out of nowhere in between. Now, Boyka is slated to come out later this year, but we were like, what is Close Range? We didn't even know anything about this. So we were like, oh, Issac Florentine, Scott Adkins, oh, boom.
Well, it turns out we found out exactly what Close Range was. It was the budget for Boyka.
Yeah, so unfortunately, this is the theory we're going with here, okay? This is the theory. We found out that Undisputed 3, it's so sad, but Undisputed 3 made no money, okay? It did not do well, and that's because of illegal movie streaming and whatnot. Everybody just downloaded the movie. They couldn't wait to see it, so everybody downloaded it and watched it for free. And Undisputed 3 didn't do well. And
it's a straight-to-video release for the most part. If that was, if there was any theatrical, I'd never heard about it. Yeah, no. And as such, it's not going to rake in a lot of dough anyway.
No.
But
you still want to support the little guy when the little guy's busting his ass trying to create and give us worthy entertainment. Even if it's low budget, it's still worthy entertainment. Undisputed 3's fight sequences alone rival big budget American Hollywood production.
You had Scott Adkins, who is, in my opinion, one of the best top-notch martial art actors we have going today.
Yeah. Paired
with Marco Zaror, who really needs to be doing more.
Yeah.
With Issac Florentine, who demonstrates time and again he knows how to film fight sequences. And to be quite honest, the only reason I wanted to see Close Range is because, first of all, I am just chomping at the bit for Boyka. I'm waiting for this movie. I've been waiting for this for a while. I know. And hearing that they teamed up to do this really, really small straight-to-video movie in Close Range, I was like, well, I'm intrigued. Damn it! You can tell that they did the absolute best that they could with this. This is a $3 million budget movie. They're filmed out in the middle of nowhere. Basically, for the most part, no namers are in this. Very minimal in terms of set design. You're in a hotel room, you're outside, and you're inside a house. And that's pretty much it. And everything was kept to a complete bare minimum in this. When you don't have the story and you don't have the development you need in terms of characters. I feel like this was an ambitious movie with the amount of characters that they presented. They tried to be really stylistic at one point in introducing who the villains were, name by name by name by name by name by name by name. And in the end, it didn't matter.
Didn't even matter.
Right. And I can't imagine, I can tell you if anybody other than Florentine had directed and anybody other than Scott Adkins had been in this, it would have been even worse than what we got. But I think this boils down to just a really shit script.
The movie opens up with a black screen with subtitles. And it's talking about the samurai. Okay? There are two different versions of the samurai. You got the first samurai, the samurai who works for the shogun, and then you have the samurai that doesn't have a job, and he's out and about, and he's a Ronin. Okay, he's a masterless samurai. And then it goes straight to the movie, and we're all like, and I'm kind of like, all right, we'll see here. Let's see. Let's check this out. Ghost Dog has more in connection with being a samurai Ronin than this fucking movie. Now, I know they were trying to compare with, Scott Adkins used to be in the military, and then he didn't like what his superior wanted him to do. He ended up turning on his superior, so he's run away. He's ditched out of the military, so I guess in a way he's a masterless samurai. Fuck this movie. Fuck it up the ass. Okay? God dang it. What a waste. What a waste. Now, at first, though, we had high hopes. And at first, the beginning of the movie, it was looking pretty good, which we will also get with the badass, okay?
Yes.
It was looking pretty damn good right at the beginning. And even the soundtrack at first seemed to be trying. They kind of had like a Western samurai feel, where they had like the Western whistle, they had that, and we were kind of like, it's a little cheesy, but I see what they're trying to do. Every time Scott Adkins would turn around heroically or something, they would have the little whistle. So I like a little Western vibe. All right.
Scott Adkins is kind of not really the focus, but sort of his sister and her daughter are, and then they've got this jerk of a stepfather involved, and he's pissed off the local cartel, and they're all like a bunch of nameless villains that, not nameless per se, they all have names, but the problem is you don't care, you don't get to know any of them, it's pointless. And so you started to notice that there were just problems as the film went on, but they're still trying to keep this theme of this odd little whistle. They're still trying to keep it going like, no, this is cool, but it's like, no, it's not. And then by the end of it all, you're stuck with all these characters that you want everybody to die. Scott Adkins, it got to the point where I would only be paying attention to what was on screen if Scott Adkins was fighting someone. That's how little of a shit I gave about this movie and its characters. And by the end, this stupid little theme keeps popping up, and you're just like, no, we don't care. Stop it.
Really? For God's sake, shut up! So you got generic drug cartel villain number 18. You don't care about whatever. It's not like you're supposed to care about him, but you just don't really. He's not an interesting villain, okay? It's very generic. His crew, very generic.
Although, ironically, he is the second best actor in the film next to Scott Adkins.
Yeah, what does that say? What does that say, damn it? So Scott Adkins' sister's husband is dead, okay? She goes off and marries this asshole who, when you just look at the guy, you know he's a dick. You know he's no good. But yet, she married him because at first, everything was going to be fine. He was fine at first, but later he turned bad. I swear, when I first met him, that he wasn't this way. Shut up!
I will give the movie credit. I enjoyed watching Scott Adkins trash his sister about her lifestyle choices. Every single chance he got, he was like, you knew what you were getting yourself into. You fucked up your life. Don't be blaming other people for this shit. That was kind of amusing. But,
and it was this douchebag's fault. The guy she married, it's his fault that the whole freaking drug cartel's coming to the family anyway. So she's not likable. You don't give a shit about her. She's just complain. And then you got the daughter. All the daughter did, she's a horrible actress. They're all bad. But all she did was fucking cry in this movie. Uncle Scott. No, Uncle Scott, don't get her. Oh, mammy, don't get her. No. Oh, there's people outside. Oh, give me the phone so I can call the police. Which leaves us with the fucking corrupt sheriff.
Yeah, it's not bad enough that we had an entire cartel on our ass. Sheriff, he's one of those stock villains where he's very generic, but then they try to give him this arc, and it is sad.
No movie.
So they try to give him this really bad, he's really a loving daddy, and he's on the phone with his 25-year-old trying to act like he's 6-year-old son, and his ending was so laughable because he buggered off. He decided to let the cartel have Adkins and his family, and he got the hell out of Dodge. Well, all of a sudden, because of his son, he decided he was going to have a conscience. And so he
Out of nowhere.
So he comes back and
Yeah.
he helps the family, and you're thinking, oh, well, that's his arc.
Yeah.
He just redeemed himself because he wanted to be a better dad, or he wanted his son to see him as a hero.
Yeah.
And then he ends up turning on Adkins again.
Yeah.
And for no reason,
Yeah.
puts himself into a position where Adkins kills him. And oh, they tried to make it all artsy fartsy. And
Yeah.
at this point, I was like this.
Yeah. The cartel is already dead. He has nothing. The corrupt cop, the sheriff, has nothing to fear with the cartel. They're dead already.
Yeah.
There's nothing. So he came back. He put on the body armor. They even set up the storyline where it was like, at one point, at one time, Adkins saved him, pulled him out of the river because he was drunk driving, and his car went off the bridge. And Adkins pulled him out. So they were kind of, they kind of set that up to where, oh, well, maybe this is where the conscience is coming in. So he's coming back to help the family. This movie felt like a TV show with missing episodes. Everybody knew everybody. Everybody had this long history with people, but we don't know. We don't know what you guys know. Show, don't tell.
Why did the sheriff do what he did?
Yeah.
If you really think about it, like you were saying,
Yeah.
the cartel's dead. The his only witnesses are Scott Adkins and his sister and his niece.
Yeah.
Which they're gonna keep their mouths the hell shut. They're gonna go off and they're just gonna be glad that they survived this ordeal. The sheriff could have made up any story he wanted.
It was kind of like, okay, he has the flashback of his son, so then it's kind of reminding him of, oh yeah, I have a conscience. That's why I'm here, as if he needed a reminder, as if the audience needed a reminder. Why we know why he's there, but he thinks about what he did again, while he has this long, horribly drawn out draw with Scott Adkins. This, oh my god, like it was probably a minute or less, but it felt like 5 minutes. I mean, it was just like, oh my god, like just somebody shoot somebody already. It's not working.
We don't care.
We don't care at this point.
There is zero investment at this. We don't care.
So they show him think of the moment where he tells his son he'll be home, and then he has a conscience. But then right after that, he ends up and tries to kill Scott Adkins anyway. So it was all fucking pointless. Now for the badass. The beginning fight sequence is a thing of beauty, okay? Adkins shows up, takes out a knife, and fucking obliterates all these guys, and it's so fucking awesome. And director Issac Florentine makes that scene even better because it's all in one take. The fight starts in the middle of an elevator, follows Scott Adkins out while he takes out and dismembers all the thugs, man, to save his niece. And the camera's still going, and we were just like, yes! You're like, yes, this is what we want to see, this is what we want to see. But a little birdie,
Told us both.
yes, a little birdie named Blake Trinity, okay, told us way in the back and said, why do we have the feeling that this is the best part of the film?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it was.
Yeah.
You do get some fight scenes later that are all well done, I swear. Every time Scott Adkins is on the screen and he gets in a physical confrontation with somebody, we wake up.
Yes.
I mean, literally, it's like, oh, thank God, here we go. And we weren't disappointed. Some of the fights were well done.
But the rest of the movie just can't hold up to that.
And it's not just that, it's just that there's not enough of the fights.
Definitely.
We probably would have been maybe a little bit more nice with our rating if there were a lot more fight sequences of Adkins kicking ass.
Absolutely.
But there was really beginning fight sequence. Then there was a fight with another guy on the outside, and then there was a few scraps inside the house. But that was basically it. And a very long and overly drawn out shooting sequence. And this is coming from me. I love John Woo movies, okay? But I was just like, there was like 10 minutes of the cartel shooting at the house, and then the mom and Adkins shooting back at the cartel, and then the cartel shooting at them. And it was like 10 minutes, and nobody died, nobody got hit, and it was just like,
But what is
God,
what
it's
is
boring.
What is the first Raid film? It's a shootout movie. But why did we care? We were invested with the characters. We were invested with the story, with what was going on, with the setup and the execution. You can't have a 10-minute fight sequence when the stakes are supposedly high for characters that we don't care about.
yeah, we don't care. And the
So-
way it was shot, it was boring too.
That's true.
So I hope that this movie, this piece of shit, is a blessing in disguise, and it helps fund Boyka, and we get another awesome, phenomenal, movie with Scott Adkins playing that classic badass Yuri Boyka. I am the most complete fighter in the world. I mean, I can't wait for Boyka. He can make 10 of these movies. I will watch all 10 of them. I will have multi-box set of the adventures of Yuri Boyka. Okay?
Boyka and Friends.
Boyka and Friends. But until then, we just cannot recommend Close Range.
Yeah, if you're gonna rent it, skip to the hand-to-hand fights. That's about all you're gonna pull from this. Some of them are worth at least the viewing. But as a whole, the movie itself, it's just kind of stock. Not the greatest execution. And, a bit more fighting in it, a bit more excitement.
Yeah.
Maybe tone down the story a little bit so that you didn't have so many characters that you didn't care about. Wow.
There was a story.
Oh.
So we give Close Range 2 out of 5 ninja stars. That's it for today's episode of The Movie Dojo. Don't hurt me. If you've seen Close Range, let us know what you thought about it in the comments below. Until then, we'll see you next time. Like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. So we were all uppity and all up excited up in here when we found out about them. On today's episode of The Movie Dojo. I'll cut out that. Okay.
I almost fell.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were acting.